Hello, I'm VX and welcome back to Seed Sunday. Seed Sunday is a weekly series I run on my channel where I show you seeds, Minecraft console edition, which are particularly interesting and worth checking out some way. And this week's seed is definitely both those things, by virtue of being a Seed Sunday seed, because it has 7 NPC villages on a classic size world. That's right, just to start with, 7 separate villages, which is pretty much as close as high as you can get, but that's just kind of the basis of why the seed is great, because it also has 5 blacksmith chests attached to that. It has a bunch of caves you can find around the place, which are really, really weird, and you'll see what we mean once we get to those. But also, one of those 7 NPC villages is on top of a desert temple. That's right, one of the 7 NPC villages, which is, again, already pretty amazing, is on top of a desert temple, and it's just very extraordinary to see, and I think you'll be mind-blown when we get to that later. But first of all, I'd very much appreciate a like on the video, because it does help out the channel, and let us know you do enjoy Seed Sunday, and like seeing, the seeds every single week for Minecraft console. With that said, though, this week's seed came in from Owen, so big thank you to him. Submit via email, but you can send them via pretty much any place. So big thank you for Owen sending this in, and also, the seed is IBX46. If you do type that in, you'll spawn just over here on this seed in the weird, kind of cross between a savanna and a plains, and then this little water nearby. Again, the spawn isn't an exact spot, it's a vague area, so you might spawn just over here, but you'll kind of recognize the spawn because you'll have this, one, you'll be able to see 3 villages if you look kind of nearby it. There's one over there, and one over there, but you also notice this very weird little sand, kind of block, which we'll get to in a second. But first of all, let's go show off the first 3 villages, the ones near spawn, because the cool thing about these 3 villages, unlike, if having 3 villages next spawn is already amazing, but these 3, this one here has a blacksmith chest, as you can see. It's also a, like a acacia village, or the savannah village, whichever one you want to call it. And then here you can see 2 iron pickaxes, which is pretty great if you want to go caving from the bat, which, as you probably already saw, between the spawn and here, there's a lot of caves which are just exposed and open, and you can go straight down into. If you want to find your iron, you want to find your coal, you can get that stuff started very easily, because of course you've got your iron pickaxes, which is pretty great for something that's just next to, the village, in between it and stuff. So yeah, that's the first village. The second village is found to the south, so, very, very close to the corner of the map over here. It is a desert village this time, which is, I guess, a nice bit of variety. This one also has a blacksmith chest, and this blacksmith chest is a little bit better than just 2 pickaxes, because if we look inside, you can see there's actually our first diamond, a bunch of, free iron, which we can use for anything you want. We got iron sword too, so, that's now like almost a full set of equipment, and then some apples and some gold, which might be great if you're doing UHC. So, yeah, we've also, we've got a second village, close to spawn as well, that's also pretty amazing as far as that stuff goes. Then we've got a third village found just over here, so like all 3 direction, all diagonal directions from spawn besides the northwest one. And as you can see, this village isn't quite so exciting, but it is an acacia one. It's very, very close to a roof forest, and if you want to make your own like dark oak village, I feel like this is a good basis or something like that for that, and I think it's pretty cool. Also, you'll notice how even though it only has 1 planter, of 2 separate crops, it has beetroot anyway, which is always useful to have. In fact, there's a lot of beetroot around the the world, which is always nice if you want to have one of the features, which is exclusive to Seeds of Village, which is a bit bizarre if you ask me, but that's kind of that. So yeah, as well as having just the beetroot over there and stuff, basically you're going to find in between these 2 villages this ravine, which is kind of nice to check out if you just want to, again, get more ores, more stuff like this. But it's just one of the many, significant underground structures we'll be showing off today. However, first of all, I want to kind of show off this weird stump thing that you can see from the spawn, because even if you go into Amplify, this is very weird stuff. I think this is like one of my build recommendations for today. I like to, kind of recommend something you could do with each seed, and in this case, this is like the perfect place to like set up an underground mountain base, like, hollow out the entire thing, even make it go down to bedrock, and kind of just hide your operation underneath this, because, again, you can see how it just looks very, kind of, it blends in almost, but also seems like it'd be a great basis for headquarters. So that's my little suggestion, like mine the entire chunk out, and just have the weirdest, like, underground base entrance. Using this is my, is what I do, where I play around the seed a bunch. Also, next to this, we'll find a lava pit. This is one of, a couple we'll find on the seed, which is pretty great, and also just around here, we'll find our first cave that's pretty significant, because in this cave just over here, so these are the coordinates, if you followed my torch trail, which I've put, just because it's a little bit confusing, a little thing, so we follow this water along, basically, till we see lava. Then once we find the lava, we have to cross the lava, or you can go around it, or whatever you need to do, but you need to go up to the other side of it, and then follow it down just a little bit more. By the way, as you do all of this, because we're very close to diamond layer, you'll find gold, you'll find lapis, and you might even find diamonds. You'll actually find the first of the, again, bizarre caves, where we have a mob spawner, and this mob spawner is really cool, because it has the weird glitch where 2 of the, actual, like chests, kind of came together and merged, which isn't really meant to happen, but it's happened just over here. And as well as just having a merged chest, you also get some pumpkin seeds, I believe there's some beetroot seeds, you get all this sort of stuff, as well as golden apple, coal, and really it's just a golden apple chest, which is nice, especially for the UHC thing I mentioned earlier, and because right now there's a glitch of the pig spawners, it's just a little bit bizarre like that. So yeah, that is what you'll find if you go through all of this cave, and again, you can check out the rest of the cave too if you want to find more diamondy stuff, because it does just keep on going down and on, etc., which is something that's worth checking out if you, again, mining for diamonds can be a little bit easier when you do stuff like this. So let's mine all the way up to through the surface. And let's show off the next set of villages, because if we get to the south, west corner of the map, we'll find our 4th village. So it's on the other side of this giant roof forest. Like, again, it's a very bizarrely placed roof forest, if you ask me, but, in between this and that is, this is in between the 2 villages, and here is our 3rd blacksmith chest, so already on 3 out of the 4 villages, and yeah, this one is cool because it's a plains village, so that's all 3, at least, minus the tiger, but all 3 major types of village so far. This one's not quite so exciting on the inside, because bread and an iron chestplate, you might be doing better than that by the time you get here, but if you're not, then free armor, free bread, and maybe even just hold out on it. And you also get some pretty nice views from here, because it is surrounded by some mountains. Even when you're on, non-amplified, which, by the way, if you decide to do this world on amplified, it's going to be crazy. By the way, if you set classics to that, because you have so many villages, so many weird bits of terrain that you kind of see will go very bizarre there. But yeah, then we've got this extreme hills over here. It's a very weird extreme hills, because it's like kind of hollowed out. Might be something you like, might not be something you like. Either way, it's something that is here for you to get. And then we've also got a weird mixture of biomes on the corner, which you can see. Extreme hill into forest, into, I thought that was a tiger, but I guess it's just a single spruce tree. But yeah, it's a really nice little corner thing there, as well as, just a nice break from the savannah desert plains, which you usually find when you have this many, obviously this many villages means you need to have those 3 biomes, which, by the way, moves us into our 5th village. Speaking of villages, this 5th village is pretty cool because it's another desert one. It also has a blacksmith chest, so that's 4 already. Again, pretty amazing stuff. And this 4th chest, although, not being quite so amazing, has a bunch of bread and trees. You can make like a tree sandwich. Wouldn't that be amazing? And yeah, you've also just obviously got access to the normal village stuff, which I just think, this village in particular is a really nicely placed one, because it's pretty close to the center. It's right between the 2 rivers, and if you're doing something weird where you want to use the whole map, having access to 2 little rivers is like having 2 kind of, I guess, like, boatways, I'll call it one more time, built in, which is pretty nice. And also you've got the big pit of lava next to this like almost heart-shaped water thing, which I really did quite like when I first saw it. So the 6th village is just up ahead here, and yeah, the one with the desert temple below is the last one. So hold on me for a second. This 6th village is not really too exciting, besides one thing, which is the random single pumpkin just kind of hiding over here. Like, it's hard to spot first because when you're at ground level you can't really see it, but there is just a random pumpkin hiding with this village, which might be a thing if you want to start a pumpkin farm. Also, you got just a bunch of villager trades, and realistically you want to move straight to the 7th village, because the 7th village is a savannah village, or an acacia village. So yeah, this is really bizarre by itself, because okay, we got this bright orange village, despite being like kind of on this desert, but the weird thing is the fact that there is a desert temple which formed on the very edge of the desert. You can see the desert ends there, which meant that the desert temple only just spawned there by the tiniest bit of its thing, and I guess because of the way the desert was maybe meant to set up, or like, some weird glitch of the terrain, we have a desert temple which is mostly below ground and underneath the village. That's right, here's the desert temple, there is the village. Exactly how that happens, a few steps beyond me. Oh, also blacksmith chest, by the way. But yeah, exactly how that happens is a few steps beyond me, but it means that you get like the double loot for this village of having blacksmith chest and this, and also you have the weird experience of being able to like explore a desert temple around a village. So yeah, this is the top. You can't actually get inside unless you break that one, so you kind of have to break one of these blocks to get in. Let's call it this one, and here you can see underneath the village is this desert temple. It's a very, very weird experience. By the way, the chests on the inside of this, just in case you're curious, because I know that I think this structure's more significant than that, but you also get golden apple, you get another golden apple, as well as a flame one book. You get a bunch of, you get a bunch of gunpowder and apples, you get some emerald, you get some gunpowder, all good stuff really. But yeah, the cool thing to me is way more significant is the fact that it's just here underneath the village, and you find a lot of weird, kind of connections to that, such as the fact that I think like these weird caves like kind of connect to it in a weird way. If you dig down from pretty much any point in the village, you're going to find yourself in this desert temple. It's very, very weird stuff you can check out if you like the weird, again, the weirdity of like having a desert temple on top of or underneath a village. So yeah, the blacksmith chest as the bonus bit of loot over here is also going to provide with you some free, ingots to add to the pile. And in general, this is just a really nice collection of, villages. The 7th one is really significant because it's right near the edge. It's on top of the thing. It has the weird stuff, and I think, I think it really speaks for itself. As well as that, though, we have a big pile of pumpkins over here, which might be worth checking out if you want to get that pumpkin farm really started. And yeah, this is a very, very bizarre seed for a bunch of different reasons. But the final thing I wanted to show off before we go to the end is 2 more things. I guess that's the final 2 things I wanted to show off. The first one is the fact that at the very edge of this river here, we have this weird cave which generated all the way to the river, and feels like it kind of like glitched into it here, because you can see the water wants to flow into there, but it's just kind of not, besides that one bit. There you can see there's this giant cave which is generated right next to a river. I feel like there's some possibilities of this. I'm not sure what. Maybe you make your own artificial lake, or maybe you just use that for something weird, but still, thought that was kind of cool. And as well as this, there is this corner in the top right, or the northeast, if you want to use cardinal directions. And the cool thing about this corner is the number of biomes it has in such a short space. So keep in mind, this is Extreme Hills here. It's a very tiny Extreme Hills, but it's Extreme Hills nonetheless. This is Savannah there. That is a desert there, so that's 3 already. But then on top of having those 3 right there, we've got ourselves what looks to be a forest. So yeah, we got a forest over here, that's 4. We've got a roof forest to make 5. Then we've got a swamp to make 6 right here, if I'm not mistaken. And then just before the edge, we've got a plains biome 2 to make 7 biomes in the space of what? Look at the size of this land. Very, very tiny stuff. And if you count the ocean, which I guess you probably should, that's 8 biomes in such a tiny area. Really, really bizarre, really, really cool stuff, and probably worth checking out if you like your very closely spaced biomes. And again, I feel like this whole seed is also totally recommendable and amplified, because when you add structures to any, interesting amount of biomes, you're going to get some weird stuff. But anyway, that brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you did all enjoy it. Like the video if you did like it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do like the Seed Sunday stuff. Share the video if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see those daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.